good, y'all? Happy Tuesday. Had a good day. Alright, I want to talk about books and reading. So, about 3 summers ago, I think it was, I saw the movie Dune, the first one with Timothée Chalamet. I thought that was like the coolest shit I ever saw in a while. And so I looked it up on the internet after I watched the movie. I was like, oh, this is a book series. And I knew there was a part 2 to the movie that was going to come out afterwards. But I really didn't want to wait till the second movie to come out to finish the story. And I was like, I saw online that it was a great book, and I actually had previously heard of this other podcaster, Lex Friedman, that he read it as well. So I heard about it, and I was like, I gotta check this out. I want to read this book myself before the next movie comes out. I buy the book that summer, right away I bought that book, and I read the book in maybe 16 days or so, which I was very happy with, because I hadn't read a book prior to that in so long, and it felt like so good to read a book again, especially a book of that caliber. Sci-fi, the Dune series by Frank Herbert is well known and heavily considered to be the greatest sci-fi series of books ever written. It's also what inspired Star Wars. I think I heard that there's a book that kind of inspired both Dune and Star Wars, but regardless, it's fantastic. So I read that book and I was super happy with myself. I remember finishing that book in my backyard on my patio in my chair, and the feeling of reading those last words and then finishing it, that was a feeling that I hadn't got in a while, and it felt really nice. It's super complete and fulfilled. So obviously I had to continue reading the books. So that was the first book I read, and then I read the second, the third, the fourth, the fifth, the sixth. So there's 6 written by the original author, and then 2 more written by the author's son with another guy as well, because the original author, Frank Herbert, he died, but he was going to write 1 more book to the series, but that didn't end up happening for a while until it was co-written by the son. I want to say his name is, I forget his name right now, unfortunately. Okay, so where am I going with this? After I read, once I started reading Dune, I haven't stopped reading books since then, in these last 2.5, 3 years. I've been reading books ever since. I'm so grateful for that, because for anybody that does read books will know exactly what I mean. Is reading is so beneficial to the soul, to the brain, to the body, everything. Every aspect of your life will improve if you read. I always try to push reading to anybody. It doesn't matter, in my opinion, what you're reading, as long as you're reading. Because when you read, especially good writing, you're more creative, you're not trying to be instantly gratified, getting that dopamine hit all the time like you do from your phone. Whereas reading a book, it's a long-term investment, it's a long-term goal, so it builds good habits of trying to think long-term and take action towards the long term instead of short term. So it builds that habit as well. It improves your reading comprehension, which is also kind of what I wanted to talk about in conjunction with books. So books can be so good because for what I just mentioned, but also what books do is they increase your reading comprehension, and reading comprehension also translates, in my opinion, to overall comprehension of just critical thinking, which is such a valuable skill. Because of my friends, I am the only one that reads. I'm pretty damn certain of it, at least on like a very consistent basis. And I think it shows. You know, I'm not saying I'm smarter than all my friends, because I know I have smart friends as well, but I think I know it to be truthful, within me at least, that by reading, you become far more intelligent. Like, it's not a secret at all. And I honestly do believe that because of reading, I have greater comprehension skills than all my friends. And I'm not trying to brag. I'm not trying to sound better than they are or look down upon anybody who doesn't read. But I'm simply saying that reading will benefit you in so many different ways. Reading comprehension, it's relaxing, especially before bed. You get really good sleep if you read before bed. You're definitely more creative. Like, I really only read fiction, mostly. I've read the Dune series. I'm reading it again right now. I've read a handful of Stephen King books. It's such a delight. It's such a delight to read. I always also like to think of it as like escape from reality. Not that living is like misery, but sometimes life is stressful, and reading can bring some nice clarity and just relaxation. I'll put it like that. Okay, so how can this value myself and people, anybody, towards the long term? Here's how I see it. So I just mentioned how reading comprehension can increase, and overall critical thinking can increase from reading. That is so important. Comprehension, critical thinking, the ability to decipher information that you are given, all of that, your skills will improve from reading. In today's day and age, with everybody talks about AI, but how can you not now? It's AI, it will not literally take over the world, I don't think, but I mean, it'll take over in terms of AI will be used and embedded within. It can be used for basically any purpose or any like realm of work or creation. And so why is that relevant to reading books? I believe that's relevant to reading because with AI taking over so many certain like monotonous jobs and tasks that humans can do, where AI is now doing it instead, it's important that you build the skills that humans have that AI does not, such as reading comprehension and critical thinking. Those are skills that humans will always need. There will never not be that's even more required now, is the ability to critically think. Even more so than ever, because now with AI being able to do certain things for us, or using AI in conjunction with humans for work, you can leverage your own skill set of critical thinking and thinking outside the box and make that an asset to yourself. So that's how I see how reading can be valuable. Not just in terms of it's a fun, relaxing activity, but it holds true value in an individual, and it makes you smarter. It makes you more interesting. You know, I forget who and or where I heard this. It might have been Stephen King himself who said this, because yeah, it definitely was actually, because I like Stephen King books, and when I first started reading his books, I started also just like watching his interviews on YouTube. He did some like lectures, and he said pretty damn certain it was him, but it was the idea that, you know, some people might not go out that much. They don't meet that many people. They don't have many friends. But if you read books, you can have thousands and talk to thousands of people. Now, obviously, that's not being literal, as in actually doing that in real life, but the idea is that through reading, especially like high quality stories, you can still gain insight into human experience and human interaction by reading. And I completely agree with that. So this is my my spiel as to why reading is beneficial for everybody, and kind of how I see reading can increase an individual's skills, especially moving forward in this modern era where reading can, it'll give you skills, it'll give you assets that can lend a hand to your future self and your individual self in the moment. So go pick up a book, literally any book. I always recommend Dune or like Stephen King, just sci-fi, stuff like that. I find it very enjoyable to read, but it's not for everybody, and I understand that. Everybody has their own type of genre that they like. I also encourage you that if you are a reader and you generally stick to certain types of genres, go pick up another book of another genre. I recently this summer started reading, I read a history book, which was nice. It was a good switch up. It's like how most people really enjoy a specific music genre. Well, if you want to increase your vocabulary, so to speak, like increase your perspective, somebody who listens to a lot of music, they will listen to different types of music genres. Same thing with books. If you already read a lot of books, try out a different genre. You could be pleasantly surprised. Alright, that's it, y'all. Thanks for watching. I'll see y'all again.